Hello YouTube, today I'm going to be showing you a Celestial Dragon Slayer guide. So what are Celestial Dragons? They're Slayer creatures located in the Dragontooth Island resource dungeon. It requires one-of-a-kind quests complete. I also suggest you have at least 85 herb lore, since super anti-fires fully protect against their dragon fire. The fastest way to get to this location is by Horde Stalker Ring, which is a reward from sinkholes, or dungeoneering tokens. It teleports you directly outside the dungeon. Max Guild Skill Portal to Dragontooth Divination Spot also offers a close teleport. If you don't have access to either one of them, just use an ectophile, then talk to the ghost in Port Famasses, and he'll travel you to Dragontooth Island. Then find the resource dungeon nearby. You'll need a Ghost Speak amulet if you haven't done the Mauritania hard tasks. Celestial Dragons have very high HP, however they're not incredibly difficult. Their main weakness is arrows. They attack with either melee or dragonfire, but if you're in mage or range distance, they'll only use dragonfire. They will stun every 5 attacks, when a green-bluish sparkle surrounds them. If you kill them fast enough, you shouldn't have to worry. Just use Freedom to clear the stun. For an Invention-based equipment setup, I have augmented ascensions on offhand only. The reason I only augmented my offhand was because charge drain rates were very high, and I only need one perk on the weapon. However, if you need the Invention XP, then augment both of them or use a 2H weapon. My main hand is a regular Ascension crossbow. Noxus bow is generally better here. The reason I use Ascensions is because augmenting is cheaper. Armadillo top and bottom are both augmented. The perks I'm using on the armor are Crackling 3, Impatient 3, Dragon Slayer plus Biting 2, and Genocidal. The only perk I'm using on my weapon is Precise 5. For ammunition, I'm using Ascension bolts. Some people have suggested to use Dragonbane bolts, but my accuracy is greater than 100%. If you feel you're missing too much, then use Dragonbane bolts. I think if you're not on Slayer tasks, you'll splash sometimes. If you're using arrows, then just use the strongest arrows. You don't really need Dragonbane arrows. Even a crystal bow can hit these 100% of the time. The amulet I'm wearing is Zealot's. I already explained a couple of times why it's amazing. The rest of my equipment is full Armadillo set, Surgeon's Ring, and Completionist Cape. You don't really need an aura here, but I'm just using Vampirism anyways. For my inventory setup, I have Overloads, Super Prayer Renewal, Super Anti-Fire, and Weapon Poison++. You don't really need to bring any food, because if you're not in melee distance, they won't hit anything other than Dragonfire. Spring Cleaner and Alch Runes are used to clean the rune drops. Demon Horn Necklace may be swapped out, in case I'm at low prayer. Ring of Vigor and Enhanced Excalibur are really helpful here. I have a legendary pet summon, so that way I can loot the drops without running. I also use it to store any additional potions, as one full flask is not going to last enough for this trip. Some of you would have used the Steel Titan instead. For a couple of reasons I don't use the Steel Titan. 1, I don't find it convenient to have to dismiss it after every task. 2, I like to have loot alongside XP. And lastly, Invention XP is penalized, with any external damage source. It's really up to you on whether you feel it's worth it or not. However, I'm going to demonstrate this without a Steel Titan. If you do bring a Steel Titan, you may also want to bring a few summoning potions, to use a special attack more often. The only prayer I need to use is Leech Range Strength. This is because I'm wearing Zealots. Soul Split is not needed, but you can flick it if for some reason you're at low HP. I generally tend to camp the northern section of this dungeon, as the spawns are closer together. For my action bar, I have Ricochet on the first slot, but you probably don't want to put it there if you're new. I just like having them aggro me, so I don't have to move a lot. Follow it with Corruption Shot, and the rest fill it with basic abilities. Snipe is put near the end of the basic ability rotation. This is because I usually prefer to manually trigger it, as it's more optimal that way. After I hit my snipe, and I see an animation that shoots an arrow, I immediately follow it with another ability. That way it cancels Snipe's ability delay. Another manually triggered basic ability is Tuska's Wrath, which hits really hard, but has a long cooldown. Remember to use Freedom immediately if you get stunned. For thresholds, you want to spam them, but remember to save Adrenaline for Death's Witness. The drops are not remarkably amazing, but you can expect around 2.5 to 3 mil GP per hour from legendary pet looting. This is without factoring in the chance of unique drops, such as Draconic Visages. I did get a Dragon Rider body here, and I sold it for 780k, but I did not include it in the price checker. So overall, I got 195 kills in 34.5 minutes. I was only able to record 16.5 minutes as my recorder broke down. So that's almost 340 kills per hour, at 637k range XP per hour, and 332k Slayer XP per hour. If siphoning my current equipment setup, it is around 700k Invention XP per hour. So yeah, thanks for watching and I hope it helps. If I missed anything, feel free to ask.